Marky, my dude, what's up? Hey, how was church tonight, man? I'm so sad I'm not there to see you. I was bummed that I wasn't preaching this weekend. I'm gonna preach. I'm gonna preach to you one day live. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it happen. Love you, my bro. Thank you for inspiring us. And,
we have two stories that are about to collide in a big way.
I had 3 sons, and 2 which were born with a disease called epidermolysis bullosa recessive dystrophic. They call it the butterfly disease for short. And essentially what that is there's different subtypes of EB, and what my boys had was one of the most severe. They were not born with the collagen 7 that connects and binds the skin. So any type of friction would cause that one layer, because they didn't have the 7 layers that we're born with, they just had the one, would cause it to literally come off. Neither one of them were ever able to walk. They were in constant wrappings, even trying to crawl. When they would slide on the carpet like normal children do, learning how to crawl, it would take the skin from their chin to their chest completely off. They had numerous surgeries, countless hospital stays. I lost Baba he was 14 when he passed away in 2013. And Marky lived 7 years past his prognosis. They gave him to 14. He lived until 21.
I'm so sorry for your loss. So 2 of your 3 children passed from this disease. Tell me about Marky's faith.
Him and Baba's had this just divine connection, like they weren't butchered by the world, meaning like that they weren't exposed to the things that normal children are exposed to. They were so innocent in their mind, like even up until Marky was 21, he still had such an innocence and purity about him.
I do ask him sometimes why did he make me like this, but he keeps reminding me, yeah, exploitation of God to people about what his son did for us.
They didn't come into it of, we're going to go meet this amazing young man and see how we can help him. More of, we're going to go meet this boy and we're going to turn it into an amazing marketing strategy. He just had this like connection, and Baba's as well. He always wanted to tell people constantly all the time, it's not me, it's Jesus. It's not me, it's Jesus.
I assume it's extremely painful.
It is high on the pain scale as bone cancer. So when he would go to bed at night, he knew waking up in the morning, his face could be stuck to the pillow, his shoulder, anywhere skin touched. Even in the womb, they were getting harmed. So when he came out, him and Baba's came out, they had no skin on their feet, hands, or chest. So even kicking in the womb was causing the skin to come off, even as they were being formed inside of me. So they never knew a moment without pain.
That makes me want to weep, yeah.
The antibiotics, they can't take them all the time, so his mom had to put bleach. Imagine you have a child and they have a cut and you put bleach on it. This boy's body is raw, his back, and they're laying bleach wraps, and I'm holding his hand, praying with him, crying. He's screaming, and I'm trying to, as his mom's bleach wrapping him. What I like to see out of any organization, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not here to put anybody down or talk bad. I'm saying, man, send somebody, one of the 200, minor pastors in the deal, to go and check on them, to call them. How are you? Is there anything you need?
So did he know Christ before you and your husband?
Oh, 1,000%. About couple weeks before he passed, he had decided to go on hospice. He didn't want any more hospital stays, any more surgeries, and he was 21. I told him, this is your body, your life. You have to live with this. You know where you're going. And he even told me, he said, Mommy, the only people that are afraid to die are the ones who don't know where they're going. He said, I know where I'm going. So I'm not scared. I just don't want to leave knowing that you're going to be hurting because I'm gone. So we had to have this really serious, intense talk. And then I walked into his room one day and he said, I saw Jesus. And I said, what do you mean you saw Jesus? He said, he let me see him. And I was like, what did he look like? And he goes, he just looked like love.
I think it's Hebrews 5. It says, for the fear of death is slavery, and so it's like, I feel like maybe Marky, through all this pain, like you said, from the womb to the day he died, he had no fear of death. So he wasn't in bondage or slavery.
I had to step back sometimes and question, is my faith hinging on his faith?
Good singing, bud.
Worship, elevation worship.
Literally only told they were coming to sing some songs, and that was it. We were just there and being told. There was no, hey, would it be okay?
There's been no contract signed.
Keep in mind, at this time, Marky was still a minor.
How does big worship music come into this story?
We were fresh new believers. We had just moved to a bigger city. We were introduced to this church, and our pastor got a hold of us because he had gone with us to Kansas City to where Marky had to have an esophageal dilatation. So he had to have numerous of these to where, like, because even swallowing his own saliva would close his esophagus. So they would have to go in and open it up. He went with us, and they happened to record him going into the operating room, and he's got Resurrecting playing by Elevation Worship on the phone. And he wouldn't let the nurses take him in there until he had his moment of worship and he prayed. And so they recorded it. Well, we didn't know, but our pastor sent it to Elevation and said, hey, I just want you guys to be aware of this. This is what your music is doing. This is what it's, how it's impacting. This is Marky. And again, we didn't know that was sent until he got a hold of us and told us, hey, I have a surprise for Marky. Elevation is coming down and they're going to sing some songs for Marky. And we're like, what? And he said, yeah. He said, you don't know this, but I sent that video to, I guess they call him Chubbs or something like that. He's like some sort of like in a management position with the church. I'm not really sure what his title is. And, but pretty much anything you want Stephen Furtick to see or be aware of goes through him.
Hey, is there someone in like marketing or communications that I could chat with? Or even, I think his name is Chunks there?
Chunks does not have a direct line. Can you share with me what it's in regards to, and maybe I can put you in the right direction?
My name's Nathan Apfel. I direct a docu-series called The Religion Business.
Okay, let me get you in touch with Chunks.
Okay, thank you.
Please record your message after the tone.
Hey, my name's Nathan Apfel. I'm the director of a docu-series called The Religion Business. A boy that you guys did a video on probably 7 years ago, his name was Marky. He had a rare skin disease, and you guys shot a really compelling 7-minute video about Marky. And so I would love to talk with Chunks or Stephen Furtick just about the story and kind of I do definitely want to give Elevation a chance to vocalize their heart behind it.
And he said, we're going to make it a surprise for Marky. They're going to come in. It's going to be on a day to where we're not having church, and they're just going to sing some worship songs for Marky. So we're like, heck yeah. We walk into the church. There they are. But then on top of that, there's video cameras and, a crew that we didn't know was going to be there. But, it's just like, hey, it is what it is. And so they had a poster for him and I think a CD of their new CD that they were going to release called There Is a Cloud. And they signed it for him and they had some moments with him.
I think the church, they're amazing at creating moments, right? But the gospel is about staying. You know what I mean? The gospel is about staying. It's not about moments. It's about, okay, I see it. Now what?
Yeah.
The content. It's not just about money. It's when ministry becomes content. It's like, that's the day and age we live in.
They're videotaping this and they pull me to the side and they're like, hey, we want to ask you these questions. We want to ask Marky these questions. We want to have these conversations. And they're kind of like scripting it.
We were on a car ride on the way back from one of Marky's iron infusions, and Resurrecting came on. And Marky was like, oh, mommy, play that again, play that again, play that again.
Kind of flooded his whole thing on music now. Now it's just Elevation Worship.
I saw this beautiful video at Elevation Church. Elevation Worship went to visit Marky because his favorite song was Resurrecting at the time. And so I knew Mac Brock. I asked Mac after church, I called him and I said, hey, what's up with this boy? This story's crazy, the pain, his skin, he goes, you wouldn't believe it. He goes, it's unreal. And I said, well, I'm going to reach out to him.
You didn't know that this film crew was there and going to record
No, we were only told that they were going to come and sing some songs for Marky. That's all we were told. That's all we knew. I have no idea if my pastor knew, if what he was aware. I have no clue to this day. I don't know what he was aware of or what he wasn't aware of. I couldn't even tell you, because we didn't have the conversation with the church. Our pastor did. I think it was like a week later, our pastor calls us and he says, hey, they're going to share a little bit of Marky's story for their album release.
Wait, so there's been no contract signed. They're not telling you like, hey, Melissa and Marcos, we would love and be honored to use Marky's story in this. It was all reactive.
There was no like, hey, would it be okay? Hey, is it okay? Hey, is it this? Is it that? And keep in mind, at this time, Marky was still a minor. So he wasn't even 18 yet. To us at that point in time, freshly into the Christian world, Elevation Church were like celebrities. People that you never thought you were going to be able to meet. We were just so over the moon for Marky having to meet these two gentlemen that he loved their music. He listened to it all the time before bandage changings, before surgery. Like that song Resurrecting, like it moved him. I just wanted to see him happy. I just wanted him to have a moment of just joy, because those were so far and few in between. And so when they asked us if we could come back the next day, we felt that we owed it to them. Like, oh, you're flying all the way down to Kansas. You're coming to do this for my son. Absolutely, we'll do anything you ask. Like, we owe that to you guys. And so even then when they did the album release, and we were told, because they were going to watch it at the church that day. In our heads, we're thinking, this is going to bring so much awareness to what Marky has. Because again, we had lost Babas in 2013. This is 2015 when this is going on.
Elevation does Love Week. This beautiful time where we go out, we wear our love shirts, and we go into the city of Charlotte, North Carolina, or wherever they're at, and they go and we serve. It's beautiful. And they give, I don't even know how much they give out. I'm just saying, I think Mark and Melissa felt hurt because after they're gone, they're gone. After the video and lights are off, it's like, okay, boom. In our heads, we're like, this is going to bring awareness to this disease. This is going to bring so much, awareness to funding. That's what we were thinking of in our head, that Elevation was going to, in turn, make it into something of like, look at this disease, let it be known of what he has, but also look at his faith. Look at his faith. Look at how amazing he is.
Use Elevation's platform to talk about the disease, talk about Marky, and say, hey, even through this horrific, painful disease, you can have deep faith. Through good intentions, Elevation goes, man, we want to come out and do something cool with Marky.
Mac and Marky connected on a deeper level that I didn't think even Mac was expecting. They really did connect. And so two good things came out of all of this. One was Marky and Mac's relationship, because, and it came full circle. This song got Marky through everything. And then at Marky's going away ceremony, Mac sang this song. I have no idea if this is connected in any way, shape, or form, but just a month after meeting Marky, Mac left Elevation.
We always say good intentions pave the way to hell. Because without transparency and without accountability, good intentions are just that. It's
not like they were just some small, humble church when they came to do this with Marky. They were at this point in time already a multi-million-dollar industry. And I call it an industry, not a church, because that's what it is. They came into our home, they saw how we lived, they saw, everything going on with Marky, and they never once asked, what can we do for Marky? Like, we have millions of dollars at our fingertips. What can we do for him? How can we help him? How can we help, fund research for this disease? At the point in time, we didn't have a wheelchair accessible vehicle for Marky, right? Like, he had to be lifted in and out everywhere we went. And every time you lift him, it would rip the skin out from underneath his armpits. Like, moving him was extremely painful. They never once asked, what can we do for him? How can we help?
Yeah, so it's not even like, hey, we'd love to tell Marky's story, and out of the revenues of the music that we're selling, or even out of the church's budget, we'd love to buy you guys a van because, hey, we get to tell this story.
And I said, hey, Marky, if you could have one wish, what would it be? He didn't say Disneyland. He said, I want my mom home with me to stay. And I have caregivers that take care of me, but they don't take care of me like my mommy. She has to go to work. To me, they should have helped adopt that family. I needed help. Yeah. It wasn't easy raising money on a GoFundMe account, but it would have been kind of nice to have that adoption.
How much were you raising through the GoFundMe?
30 grand a year, and I'll be honest with you, that's what they needed.
Did you raise that 30,000 from individual donors?
This person, that person, just through Facebook and Instagram and me talking to them. And it was a struggle.
Did Elevation at this point look to you and say, hey, how can we help Marky?
No, and I can't speak to their motives. I can only speak to what I saw, right? A powerful moment publicly at church, right? This video.
Think all of this is happening. You think all of this is going to be this amazing experience for your son. And for Marky, it was. Don't get me wrong. It was an amazing experience for him. But they didn't come into it of, we're going to go meet this amazing young man and see how we can help him. It was more of, we're going to go meet this boy and we're going to turn it into an amazing marketing strategy. But you don't see those things when it's happening, because when you're a brand new Christian, you're so blinded by the person and their title, the face that they give to social media and to the public. You really, honestly, in your naivety, you think that's who they are. You know, we're spreading the word of God, and it's like, no, you're trafficking in the word of God. You're literally selling, you're prostituting the word of God. How long had you and your husband been Christians at this point? When I say baby Christians, we were baby Christians. We got saved in 2013, the year we lost our first son. When I look at Elevation, they are one of the biggest platforms in America for the institutional church. I'm not even going to call it for Christianity. They sing pretty songs, you know, that get you emotional. Marky gets to meet his heroes, and then you see what this system does and how it leverages your son, his story, and your story. What does it do to your faith? We were surrounded by very strong biblical leaders at that point in time in our lives. And that were not a part of these mega churches, that were just very strong, men of God. They pointed out to us that, these are men, and men will fail you every single time.
He's 21 now, and he can make the decision, say, Mommy, I don't want to go to the hospital anymore. It's heavy. It's hard for me to even talk about, and I put it out, say maybe we could do a story or something, and think, it'll be amazing. How could this not be beautiful? I get the reply, that sounds great. So happy you did this with him, blah, blah, blah. I'll send this to our creative team. But does he still watch us online? Or does he watch us online? I went. And I responded back, and then it just went on deaf ears. Nothing came back. And that's when I checked out. I was pissed. And I didn't share it. And I just was like, I don't like it.
Chunks, my name is Nathan Apfel, Director of the Religion Business. We're looking to chat with you and Stephen Furtick regarding a young man named Marky and his love for Elevation worship music. Elevation had an amazing opportunity to show this man what the body of Christ was all about. We would love to give you and Stephen the opportunity to speak to the story prior to us launching. As a child, my pastor came from the fields full of cow poop on his boots and overalls, and he gave the sermon, and then he went back to the fields. That's what I was used to. Until we went to Elevation Church and actually visited the church, like walking into a church mall is what it was. Like, you had your products over here and your clothing over here, and you had this for this and this for that, and everybody was just talking, and money was being exchanged left and right, hand over fist. So Elevation Worship comes out, films with you guys and Marky. They create this video, and the video promotes the launch of their new album. So Marky got a signed poster and a CD, when in reality he needed a van and a wheelchair. This is the crazy thing for me, to keep him from being, or to somewhat alleviate physical pain that he has been in since the womb. Christ tells us to help the hurting and the marginalized. All these stories in the Gospels, when he's walking around, and he always sits with the blind, with the cripple, with the lame, with the mute. It's going to make me cry. That's probably why Marky always saw Christ, because Christ was sitting with him, right? Yeah. And instead of Elevation coming and sitting with Marky and saying, hey, Marky, how could we come alongside you? They came in and they said, hey, we're going to use Marky because our music, it's all about our music.
Yep.
And we have the religion business. It's like, are we selling the religion business off the backs of people in need? And that's why we have Broken Shepherds, because it's like, no, we're trying to build a solution to actually get resources to people and to the needy and to the marginalized. How do we as Christians and Christ followers create systems that protect people like Marky and like you and like your husband from the very system that we've created to quote unquote spread the gospel, right? Because that system corrupts.
I was getting DM'd from people all over the United States saying that they'd watched the launch of There Is a Cloud, and they saw Marky on there, and then they had saw the documentary that came out on their YouTube. So they're like, hey, our church showed that video. We gave money. Did you guys get it?
A powerful moment publicly at church, right? This video.
It's a conveyor belt of content. Right?
Yes.
It's like that. This next Sunday, we got to produce something else.
Going to see this family still struggling privately.
Marky he's one card in a deck of cards.
I thought I would be like in line to talk to this boy. I thought I would be in line to help him. I was a little disheartened with not just the church follow-up, because they should have followed up.
Even with good intentions, they flew out and told this story, but then Marky just gets shuffled back in the deck.
It becomes a content business, and I believe that the real ministry, Nathan, starts when the cameras are off.
So this is a big problem that we've seen in Africa, that we've seen here. And again, with good intentions, someone at church X, Y, and Z, and like, let's say Michigan might be like, oh my gosh, guys, check out Marky. Let's raise some money for him this Sunday and send him the money.
Yep.
And sure enough, what do? They play that YouTube video of Marky. They tell his story, and maybe they raise $100. Maybe they raise $1,000. Maybe they raise $10,000. And all that good intentions, that warm, fuzzy feeling that this person or these people felt about Marky, they got to move on to the next thing, and they just forget about it.
I just look at how much they struggle and how much our church and our congregation was advancing in locations and this and that.
If you're a Christ follower, Christ told you to steward what is given to you, which means if I'm given to Marky, I want to make sure that money makes it to Marky's wheelchair and van.
Absolutely. It was a person that was not even a Christian, that didn't even go to our church, that donated an entire van for Marky, just gave us the keys.
When I look at Elevation, just like I say with Kenneth Copeland, I think Kenneth started his ministry in the 70s with good intentions. Now he's worth $750 million. I look at Stephen Furtick. I bet you that guy started Elevation Worship and Elevation Church with good intentions. And it probably started with 5 people, But these systems eat people alive.
If you watch videos of Marky, there's a video of him that wrecks me every time I watch it. He's sitting on the edge of the bed. He has no bandage on his chest. He's bleeding, and he has his hand in the air, and he's just singing and praising God. So to me, that's what the church is supposed to be. It's not this machine. You come here and you give. The church is supposed to be, look how much I love Jesus through my trials, not know how it feels to walk into this big building and be surrounded by other people who are just as lost, just as hopeless, but they're being fed this constant, consistent rhetoric of, you've got to believe it, you got to just say it, you've got to come, you've got to be a part of it, you've got to give your 10%, you've got to do this, you got to work in the parking lots, you got to work in the nurseries, you got to do this, and you're going to be blessed. No, it's, look at me and all my suffering, and I still have not lost faith because I know my God, I know Jesus, He is my Savior.
So here you guys are, the things you love most in this world are deteriorating in front of you. Is there joy?
I've never said this on an interview before, but I feel like this, the Holy Spirit is like pressing in that this needs to be known. So Marky was the product of rape. Everything surrounding him, his life should not have been so full of joy the way that it was. Like, the joy that I got was walking into my son's room in the morning, and they were even in pain, and I'm talking excruciating pain. hi mama, good morning, like smiles and love and love and love. As a single mom, before I met Mark with these 3 boys, I would work 16-hour shifts, 7 days a week sometimes in nursing homes. I would come home at the end of the day and it's like they were just so happy to see me. The only time I had with them was doing their bandages, and then I would have to get sleep and turn around and start work all over again. So I missed out on a lot of, like, especially Baba's life, but they never, ever, ever once got mad or angry. And that always struck a chord in me. They had a connection to God that is 100% of the supernatural. I made a video just the other day because, my son going into surgery, and I was texting him the night before and I was telling him, like, I'm so scared. And my fear was like, is this going to be the incident that makes me angry and mad at God? You took my other 2 boys, like you couldn't just leave me one. Again, it goes back to, but they were his first anyways. So he's not taking them from me. They're just returning to him because they were his first. How blessed am I that out of all of the women in the world, God chose me, this young mom. Well, I wasn't a believer. I wasn't walking with God. It's not like I was Mary, because I knew I knew nothing about God. He chose me to be their mother. He chose me to bring them into this world. I got that honor. Even though I had to give them back to him early, I got that honor. And so I think people lose sight of that because they get so caught up in the flashing lights. And that video that Michael Todd made about his birthday was just disgusting.
Sir, flex, I do work 6 of like Mike. He's out of sight.
Blatant, just like the name brands and the money and the lifestyle, glorifying items, glorifying money, glorifying what you have. And people have gotten so far away from what it truly is. The Bible literally says, to give to the poor, to give to the widow. And Marky gave away things left and right. Mac, in that video, the elevation video, Mac told him how much he liked his hat. Marky took his hat off and gave it to him without a second thought. We have turned it into a money-making machine. And that's where people's 10% is going. You are feeding the machine of industry.
So we called Elevation an hour and 2 minutes ago. And since then, Marky's video on Elevation Worship has been deleted.
Please leave a message at the tone, and someone from our team will reach out to you during our normal business hours.
Hello, this is Nathan Appel. We spoke an hour and 2 minutes ago. I'm with the religion business. I called just trying to get a hold of Chunks and Stephen Furtick, looking for just a comment or even to talk about the Marky video. And within an hour and 2 minutes, ironically, this video, which has been live on Elevation Worship's YouTube channel, which has millions of followers, was randomly or strategically deleted. So I find that very ironic. Within an hour and 2 minutes of me calling, asking to talk to Chunks or Stephen Furtick, the video is deleted, but I have not gotten a response from Mr. Chunks or Mr. Stephen Furtick. If you're not looking at people who reflect Christ, but reflect the world under the name of Christ, that's called a false gospel. And I look at Mike Todd. I look at Stephen Furtick. I look at Elevation Worship. I look at Ed Young. I look at Kenneth Copeland. The people in public right now carrying the banner, getting the most attention, are antithetical to the gospel of Christ. They've leveraged your son and his story. But the beautiful part is, in this, people are going to go, I want to be like Marky. Man, I don't know what else to do. We call them, we ask for their opinion or their thoughts, and instead, within an hour and 3 minutes now, they delete a video that's been on their feed that's garnered millions of views that helped them sell records for Elevation Worship. They just delete the video about a young, passionate boy who's dying, who loves Elevation Worship's music videos and music. If Marky was sitting here in the third window and I said, Marky, what do you want to tell the world? Do you want to teach them about your disease? Do you want to teach them about strength? What do you want to teach them? What would Marky want this community to walk away with?
Marky would 1,000% tell people he just wants people to know Jesus. He just wanted people to know that there's peace in Jesus, because that's where he found his peace. He never ended his day without thanking God for one more day. He would literally say, Mama, I know every single day God breathes the breath of life into my body.
If people are interested in knowing more about the disease, what should they do?
So there's two really, really good websites. One is Deborah of America, literally like the word DEBRA, Deborah of America. And then there's also, it's called Epidermolysis Bullosa Medical Research Foundation. So it's EBMRF.
Those who water are watered, and turn around and just do something. And it sounds like that is what Marky lived, is he just did. He had the living water of the well. The only thing I can say out of all this is, hey guys, true watering, if you're actually watering someone, which Christ talks about in Matthew 25, help the sick, the hungry, the thirsty, the naked, the poor, the sojourner, the prisoner, the orphan, the widowed. If you're helping the marginalized, that's watering. If you're building an empire and an institution, you're just building traditions of men.
This is focused on Marky and Melissa, who have both had a major impact on the Brolin clan's life. There was a video done recently of my kids, my younger kids, and there was a wind that came up, and Chapel leaned into the wind, and she threw her arms back, almost like she was flying, soaring through this sudden wind that came upon us. That's how I see this. That's how I see the effect that Marky has had on us. He was a wind that we flew into, that we soared with, and that we're extremely, extremely grateful for. We like to be confronted with weather, with the emotionality of people, with the honesty of people. And he was everything that was honest, everything that was emotional, everything that was vulnerable, everything that was open. He was a living, breathing lesson in how to live with warriorship and an open heart, and with a fingerprint always on the spirit. The pain that you endured was unimaginable and unprecedented, and I know that. Unprecedented pain that you endured is unimaginable to me. So every time pain and obstacle and hardship comes up, there you are.